Hello, my name is Peter Cronin. I'm the quality manager at Alesmith Brewing Company. I'm here with SPINSCAN, which we have been using for the past 6 months at Alesmith to gather more information about our beer and how it ages. I first learned about BPR and that technology from an ASBC presentation from their 2014 conference. Molson Coors and Miller Coors scientists used EPR to learn about their beer, the shelf life, and then with multiple breweries, what to hone in on to increase shelf life at different breweries. For one brewery, it was dissolved oxygen in the beer that aged the beer faster than they expected. For another brewery, it was oxidizing metals, and for another, it was bad yeast. It was unhealthy yeast creating byproducts that oxidized the beer. There's really no other way to test shelf life other than sensory at a brewery. So the EPR really gets great data on oxidation and antioxidation and how your beer is going to last throughout its process. Certainly, we're looking at lag time. So how long do the antioxidants fight off that oxidation before the curve moves up, but also slope of the curve. And I'm taking a data point from test to test at time 48 and time 60, around there. We can do 12 measurements, 6 minutes each, and the beer is warming up at 50 degrees centigrade. It's a very, very simple system to set up. I got it on a small pallet. I was able to set it up and start using it same day. And start the training. Very plug and play. All I needed was my hot water bath, the actual EPR machine, and then the peristaltic pump that came with the machine. The shelf life for craft beer is very challenging. Alesmith our brewery is growing, and as our brand grows, it kind of dilutes out into the market, into places where our beer might not be treated very well. We're ending up in markets in Texas and Arizona, and now we're going across the seas, across the oceans to Asia and to Europe. So our shelf life needs to stay intact for the beer to remain true to brand. True to brand means it's the right aroma, the right appearance, the right taste. And as beer oxidizes, as it ages, it could get off that true to brand scale. In beer, there are natural antioxidants, usually from the malt and hops. So we're trying to maximize those as well as minimize any oxidation. Oxidation from dissolved oxygen during the packaging process or dry hop process, as well as any metals that are in our water or introduced usually during malting. Over the last 6 months since the SPINSCAN arrived, we have learned so much about our beer. It correlates perfectly with sensory data, so I know I can use this measurement without always using sensory data, which helps us a lot because we can see what happens to a beer before it actually happens to the beer 6 months down the line. We've been really honing in on a beer that's dry hopped, that we currently have a 4-month shelf life. That's our 394 Pale Ale. That's our biggest product. It's about 60% of our production. And my first experiments were just trying to create a baseline. So with our current processes, how does the curve look? And what does it look like at those time points, at time 60 minutes in to the experiment? And then we've done over 20 different process experiments. Usually with a control if we're brewing the same week or there's no process changes, but process changes including a different dry hop technique, including a different process aid that adds antioxidants into the beer. That was by far our biggest change in area under the curve or the slope. It was drastic. We've seen that over and over again as we repeat the experiments. So the data is only getting stronger that some of these process changes are working. We've never had this insight into our shelf life before, and it's really amazing. It's such an amazing tool for a craft brewery to have, and to remain competitive in the market.